Breaking news! Yes, Eagles fans, this offseason is shaping up to be one of the most crucial in Eagles history. That's because after winning Super Bowl 59, the front office has some big decisions to make. The biggest? What happens with right guard Mekhi Becton, the future of Lane Johnson, and the emergence of Milton Williams. Before I tell you all the details, make sure you've hit the like button if you've been an Eagles fan for over 20 years. It's great to see fans of all ages. Some people here were there for the first game. Maximum respect. Now talking about our players, let's start with Becton. His journey to Philly has been nothing short of a redemption arc. Drafted 11th overall by the Jets in 2020, he showed early promise but was plagued by injuries, inconsistency, and the general disaster that has been New York football. Fast forward to 2024, Becton, originally signed as a backup swing tackle, got a chance at right guard when Tyler Steen went down. And boy, did he deliver. Under the guidance of offensive line guru Jeff Stoutland, Becton has blossomed into an absolute force, helping pave the way for Saquon Barkley's historic rushing season. His numbers? A Pro Football Focus grade of 75.2, ranking 21st among 135 guards. Run blocking at 74.7, solid pass blocking at 63.6, allowing just 3 sacks. But here's where it gets interesting. Free agency is knocking, and teams are ready to throw crazy money his way. Adam Schefter went on 97.5 The Fanatic and laid it out. Some team might offer a ridiculous contract, but Becton has a decision to make. Does he chase the bag, or does he stay in a system that revived his career? Becton himself got emotional after the Eagles' playoff run, even shedding tears when they clinched. When asked about his future before the Super Bowl, he kept it real, saying, "I don't know what the future holds, but if it works out, I wouldn't be mad about it." Philly has been good to him, but will the front office prioritize keeping him? Now, let's talk about a man who doesn't need to worry about his place in Eagles history, Lane Johnson. If there was any doubt about his future, he shut it down during the Super Bowl parade. Standing in front of over 1 million Eagles fans, he made it clear, nothing but love the past 12 years. Looking forward to many more years to come. That's right, Philly, Lane Johnson isn't going anywhere. This is massive. Since being drafted in 2013, he's arguably been the best right tackle of his generation. The numbers prove it. When Lane plays, the Eagles are 102-55-1. Without him, 15-23. That's a staggering difference. And despite being 34, Johnson is still elite, an 85.4 PFF grade, a dominant 88.1 pass blocking grade, and 0 sacks allowed all season. He's taking care of his body, and his play isn't dropping off. A few years ago, there were concerns about lingering ankle injuries. Now, he's looking like he can play at a high level for years to come. And finally, we get to Milton Williams, the guy who might just be pricing himself out of Philly. A third-round pick in 2021, Williams was already solid, but this year, he leveled up. 2 sacks in the Super Bowl, a monster pass rush grade of 90.4, second best among all defensive tackles. He put up 40 pressures, and that's while playing significantly fewer snaps than the top guys. At just 25 years old, with his explosiveness and strength, Williams is going to get paid. Some teams are going to throw $18 to $20 million per year at him, and as much as he loves Philly, money talks. Williams said it himself, "I want to win, but I also want a raise." The problem? Philly is stacked at DT with Jordan Davis and Moro Ojomo, and this year's draft class is deep. The reality is, Williams might be too good to keep, and as painful as it is, my prediction is he's not in midnight green next season. So, Eagles fans, what do you think? Should Becton stay or chase the money? How much longer will Lane Johnson dominate? And is there any way the Eagles can keep Milton Williams? Drop your takes in the comments. I want to hear from you. And let's be real, Philly, this offseason isn't just about a few key players. It's about maintaining dominance. Howie Roseman has been a magician when it comes to roster building, but with a Super Bowl winning squad, the challenge is keeping the core intact while also preparing for the future. Let's circle back to Mekhi Becton for a second. We know how important the offensive line is to this franchise. It's the foundation of everything, from the run game to protecting Jalen Hurts. Losing Becton would be a massive hit, especially considering how much he meant to Saquon Barkley's historic rushing season. But what's the price? The Eagles have already committed big money to Lane Johnson, Jordan Mailata, and Cam Jurgens, and if Becton is getting offers well above market value, Howie might have to let him walk. But here's the thing, Becton is a prime example of what Jeff Stoutland can do. He took a guy whose career was spiraling, put him in the right system, and turned him into a key piece of a championship team. If he leaves, Stoutland will have to work his magic again. And let's not forget, the Eagles have a deep O-line pipeline. Could Tyler Steen step up? Could they find another bargain free agent and mold him into a starter? History says yes. but continuity on the line is invaluable, and keeping Becton would solidify an already elite unit. On the other side of the ball, Milton Williams' situation is just as tricky. His value skyrocketed after this season, and let's be honest, interior pass rushers who can consistently disrupt the pocket are rare. When you look at his production in limited snaps, it's easy to see why teams will be all over him in free agency. But here's the question, do the Eagles have the financial flexibility to keep him? With Jalen Hurts on a massive contract, and other key pieces like Haason Reddick, Josh Sweat, and the young DTs already in place, it's hard to justify paying top dollar for Williams. The reality is, unless he takes a significant hometown discount, which, let's be real, is unlikely, he's gone. And that's a tough pill to swallow because Williams was part of the young defensive core that was supposed to carry this team into the next era. Speaking of the future, Lane Johnson staying might be the biggest win of the offseason so far. His leadership, experience, and sheer dominance at right tackle give this team an advantage most others don't have. And the best part? His play hasn't dropped off. In fact, he might be getting better with age. When you see a guy who's still shutting down elite pass rushers, giving up 0 sacks all year, and anchoring the right side of the line, you realize just how important he is. And it's not just about his play, it's about his presence in the locker room. This guy is a 2-time Super Bowl champion, a veteran leader, and someone who embodies what it means to be an Eagle. Having him locked in for the foreseeable future means the offensive line remains one of the best in the league. And as long as this O-line is elite, Jalen Hurts and this offense will keep rolling. But here's where things get really interesting. What does Howie do next? If Becton leaves, does he prioritize the offensive line in the draft? Does he find another veteran to plug in? And if Williams is gone, how does he reinforce the defensive front? The Eagles have always built through the trenches, and that's not changing anytime soon. But with tough cap decisions ahead, this will be one of the most fascinating offseasons in recent memory. So, Philly, I need to hear from you. Do you think Becton should stay, even if it means overpaying? Are you confident that Stoutland can develop another star if he leaves? How do you feel about Milton Williams likely getting a massive contract elsewhere? And how pumped are you knowing Lane Johnson isn't going anywhere? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's talk about it. And don't forget, we've got full offseason coverage coming your way. So stay locked in right here for all the latest Eagles news. And Philly, let's not pretend like these are the only big decisions coming this offseason. This is just the beginning. The Super Bowl celebration is over. Now it's time to reload and make sure this team stays on top. The offensive and defensive lines are obviously at the heart of everything, but let's not forget the secondary. The Eagles got burned at times this season, and that's putting it lightly. James Bradbury struggled, and while Darius Slay is still a baller, he's not getting any younger. The front office needs to figure out if they're rolling with their veteran corners, dipping into free agency, or using an early draft pick to bring in fresh talent. And speaking of the draft, Howie Roseman has some serious work to do. With key departures likely coming, this draft class is going to be crucial. We know the Eagles love building in the trenches, so don't be surprised if they use an early pick on an offensive lineman or a defensive tackle to replace Milton Williams. But what about linebacker? What about safety? Those positions have been weak spots for a while, and if this team wants to stay dominant, they need to shore up those areas.